Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Hypno Buddies. More Chaos Head Noah. Rejoice. Well, we are definitely in what I have been calling the end game. Things are happening a little fast and furious, and we're finally getting some answers, more so than questions to an extent. Nanami is still a very weird question mark right now. Has Remy saved her? Are we still looking at some non-linear thing where she's back even though Remy maybe hasn't done what she needs to do to save her? If she has saved her, where is Remy? And how did she do it? Who did she save her from? Did she save Nanami from Suwa? Because Suwa seems to be busy as well. We were right about him being a bad guy. That wasn't a terribly difficult call, but it's nice to have that confirmed. We were also right about Yua getting a sword, which was the easiest call in the world, but now we know, and I'm pretty sure that's her sword over there. Do you see it? I'm looking at it right now. Anyway. But, yeah, we are going fast and furious. I'm still curious what's going to happen here, because it almost makes it seem like Suwa is connected to, or has something to do with Shogun. We still don't know why he was doing certain things with Hazuki, the nurse. I believe that's how you say her name. I keep messing it up. I'm pretty sure it's Suzuki. Yeah, where's that going? We know they're both followers of the Church of the Divine Light. That much has also been confirmed. And lots of other stuff happening. So, yeah, last episode was pretty packed. I can't wait to see what happens this time. I don't even remember where we left off. I don't know my right from my left anymore. Let's just get into it. That's right. We left off with Nanami here. Again, Nanami is still something of a question mark. She's answered a bit of a mystery about her wrist, where apparently she just fell and hurt it. And it's like, well, okay, I'll buy that. But also, like, what have you been up to this last week? Why did I get a phone call from you about giving your hand back? And also, have you been rescued? What's been going on? Also, our boy is very much in a slump. Last episode was probably the darkest one we've seen in a while, where Takumi literally tried to hang himself. Now he's asking his little sister to kill him, and I don't think she's going to oblige. But we'll see what other info we can get out of her, because she's come by to say hi, and why she's visiting has not really been made clear yet. Nanami's face stiffened, but shortly after that, she put on a clearly forced smile. I swear, you always tell the worst jokes, big bro. That reaction wasn't like her. Normally, she wouldn't just laugh it off. Normally, she'd angrily yell, "Don't say that, you dumb jerk," then spend the next few minutes reprimanding me. Well, not that it mattered. I didn't care. If she wouldn't kill me, I had no more business with this Nanami. She could just up and vanish, again, for all I cared. Oh, hey, Seira, how you doing? You're just right there like you're a character in the room. I locked eyes with Seira-tan. If only Seira-tan was in the third dimension, she would have gladly granted my wish. If I was going to be born a delusionary existence anyway, at least have me be born in the second dimension. Okay, that's Nanami's voice, right? This game doesn't have voices above the text box to say who's talking, so I'm like, okay, is this Seira-tan in my head, or is Nanami actually saying things? But, yeah, jokes aside, you do have things you need to tell me, so let's get on with that. So, that bangle you gave me, I lost it. Yeah, we know. We're very aware. I know what you want to say. Why weren't you more careful? But that's the thing, I really treasured it. But I still have no clue where I lost it. What, you treasured it? Seriously? Incredible. Genuinely fucking incredible. Comedy gold, really. It was trash. Come on. Besides, I gave it to you, didn't I? So it's worthless anyway. I'm not a delusion. I'm not a delusion. Besides, the fact that I'd given Nanami the bangle in and of itself was suspicious. It could have been a delusion too, for all I knew. That was why nothing in this world was worth anything. Each and everything in my memories was worthless. Each and everything in your memories is certainly suspect. He's trying to convince himself, I'm not a delusion, I'm not a delusion. It was the first present you ever gave me. Why did I have to lose it? Our boy is not even listening. I'm not a delusion. I'm not a delusion. Meanwhile, Seira is just looking at us like, don't ask me. I'm from an anime. I got nothing. Big bro, are you listening to me? No, I'm looking at Seira, who is, I don't know, just vacantly smiling back. I'm not a delusion. I'm not a delusion. We're just chanting this at this point, while staring at Seira. Why are you always like this? Our boy isn't always this bad. Her head hung low and her fists clenched tight. Nanami let out a faint whisper. Why can't you just show your reliable side every once in a while? Like a good big brother would. What now? If you're here to criticize me, you're wasting your time. After all, I'm a delusionary existence, he says as he was chanting I'm not a delusion over and over again. Yeah, like that. I'm not a delusion. I'm not a delusion. All I did was stare blankly at Seira smile. Yep, you sure are. There was no reason to listen to Nanami. It was all pointless. After all, I was a delusionary existence. Every day up until now, I've always tried my absolute hardest, all while telling myself I have to hang in there, but I just can't help it. After going through so much, even I want someone to take care of me sometimes. To spoil me. No, not just someone. I want it to be you, big bro. Big bro's off in his own little world, sorry. I'm not a delusion. I'm not a delusion, he's just rocking back and forth, holding his knees, staring at Seira. You're my big brother, after all. I can't do everything on my own. There's things I'd like to rely on you for, you know? We don't know. We're not paying any attention to you. All we know right now is Seira, and Seira is just staring at us like, whatever. I don't actually want to be here either. Can I go now? I know you don't like being told to do stuff. And you're always slacking off anyway, so I guess there's no point in trying to change that. Wait, that's not what I'm trying to say. I should probably be trying to be serious right now, but it's just Seira's vacant expression here as we're just chanting and staring at her. She's just... I feel like she's starting to just be embarrassed being here. She's just like, okay, this is getting weird. I'd like to go. Can I go on the shelf or something? Can I go with the other Sane figurines? What I'm trying to say is, even I have moments where I want someone to vent to. A shoulder to cry on, you know? And when that happens, I just want my big brother to be nice to me, you know? No, we don't know. What is going to be the comment that gets him out of his funk? I'm not a delusion, I'm not a delusion. Come on, big bro. Listen to me, please. We still need more answers from you. I don't know what's up with you. I'm really sad right now. Again, part of me just wonders if this is an act like Rimi was putting on. I lost my bangle that meant so much to me. The one my big bro gave me. I'm not sure you want it back, unless you know some really good cleaning tricks. I'm so sad, and my chest hurts so much, I just want to cry and cry. I just want my big bro to hug me. I just want my big bro to pat my head. Hey, big bro? Even if it's selfish, can I ask for that just this once? Aww. Raising my head in a daze, I saw Nanami crying. She was hanging her head low, and while she was trying her best to hold them in, tears ran down her pained face all the same. So, what has been going on? this last week, because I feel like this emotional display is not a coincidence, considering all the things we could speculate have been happening. Glad to see your hand is attached, but nevertheless, questions. I would really love to respond to that outpouring genuinely, but again, never mind, Remy's in business mode. Upon opening a glass door, the very moment Remy entered what appeared to be a lobby, a twitch of fear ran through her. Where is this? We don't know this lobby. A chill breeze, cold enough to freeze her over, crept up on her legs. This is what you get for not wearing pants. There was no sign of anyone. A fact that was obvious for this place, and this place alone. And yet, when Remy thought about what awaited her ahead, she could not help but wish that someone could have been there with her. Okay, again, are you going to rescue Nanami? Because Nanami seems relatively rescued. Unless Nanami is also a delusion and the real Nanami is somewhere else too. Before her was a soundproof door, a door akin to those of a movie theater. From a small crack within that gateway, the chilled breeze came wafting through. The breeze was accompanied by a white haze, a haze akin to the smoke that rose from dry ice. Remy fiercely bit down on her lip. In her hands was her D-sword, already rebooted. She was kind of holding it like it was one for a second there, and then she split it apart. I need to go back and look at that again. This weapon seems more versatile than some of the others. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. So, no more being scared. Desperately telling herself that, she gulped a single time, before proceeding to burst open the soundproof door with her shoulder. And where are you, and what's going to be in here? The hell is that? Remy's eyes went wide at the scene she saw before her. So did mine. There stood a device that was beyond enormous. Enshrined in the center of the dome-shaped room, it could be described only as a monster. An ominous sound rang faintly throughout the spacious room. It was a low-pitched noise, akin to the deep growl of a beast. A sound that signified the device's operation. Is this Noah? Is this Noah here?
What?
Well, that got answered quick. Noah 2, yep. That was fast to call. It's already running. Sure is. All thanks to you. Well, that raises questions, and so does that voice. Is this Genichi? A voice replied to Remy's vexed murmurs. The moment she heard that voice, Remy felt her very soul tremble. Yep. Sakihata Remy. It has been 1.5 years since we last met, has it not? Back to 1.5 years. Was that when... That's when Takumi first started quote-unquote existing, right? I think that's right. Remy's instinct was to be engulfed in fear. Shivers rose from the depths of her heart. Abominable memories attacked her consciousness. Her grim past was on the brink of being resurrected. To endure such a threat, Remy strengthened the grasp on her D-sword and lightly shook her head. Once she regained her hold, she shifted her gaze toward the voice. Yeah, the people who have D-swords seem to have some rather traumatic histories, to put it lightly. We don't know Remy's yet. We got a taste of Senna's a couple of episodes ago. We have an idea of Orihara's and Ayase's, and Yua frankly got off easy, all things considered, compared to the others. But what's Remy's tale? Right beside the enormous device, Noah 2, was him. The figure of a man donned in a suit. And by his side... Is it a tied-up Nanami? Is it a Suwa? Is it a Garo Froggy? What the... Okay. That is Nana-chan. I did not recognize her at first. The hair seems a little off, but also, that's a lot of blood. So who is in our crate? Like, I speculated it might be Nanami just because of all the nonsense going on with Nanami. But at the same time, how is Nanami here? This shouldn't be a thing. Nanami, yeah. That's, Well, proceeding. Was Nishijo Nanami held captive? What the hell is going on with this family? Her uniform was torn and a bandage soaked with blood was wrapped around her right wrist. Well. Then. Her head hung toward the floor, and she looked terribly, terribly pale. So you've been here like a week then. Faced with such a pitiable sight, Remy was at a loss for words. Crucified in Jesus of Nazareth's likeness. No, what held her now could not be called a cross. It was something far different, for it took the shape of pure, unadulterated malice. The entirety of this world's evil, the entirety of this world's disorder, the entirety of this world's immorality. It would be no exaggeration to refer to it as a symbol sculpted to those very attributes. So is there like a rucksack guy hanging out by Takemi's place right now? And someone's trying to get info or something out of him or manipulate him in some other way by bringing up an Nanami? Is that what's happening right now? I have no interest in knowing where you have been, nor what you have been doing these past 18 months. All I must say is that having you loiter here presents quite the trouble. Ooh, he be pissed. Well, as it turns out, I came to cause trouble. The man, Narose Genichi, I couldn't remember his first name, but yeah, Genichi. Narose Genichi spoke in a peaceful tone, but his voice was embedded with the sharpness of a blade. Doing everything in her power not to sink to her knees, Remy glared back at Narose. Let Nana-chan go. Oh? Could that perhaps have been why you came here? To rescue a friend? Let Nana-chan go. She has nothing to do with this. In that case, why not consult with her directly? Narose's offer left Remy confused. Are we going to see a fourth Nanami? Or a third Nanami, I should say. She was acting brave, but in truth, the moment she had seen Narose's face, her heart had been seized by fear and her legs had begun to tremble. Unable to move an inch from where she stood, she called out to the crucified Nanami. Nana-chan? Nanami's head ever so slightly stirred. Her eyes, which had been closed until that very moment, opened faintly. She raised her head, and her hollow eyes fell upon Remy. Remy-san. How do you guys know each other? Are you okay? Don't worry, I'm here to save you. We'll find your hand somewhere. In the middle of Remy's sentence, Nanami's face twisted in pain. Her face was pale, and her breathing labored. Yeah, that. Yeah, she doesn't seem to be happy to be here. I was going to wonder if she was going to say something delusionary. Like you had her trapped in her mind in a trance. Like this Noah seems to be able to do, like they were doing with Yua, where she was just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm super happy. I'm at school right now. Everything's just wonderful. Nope, never mind. Your right hand, it hurts? How would you know that? Heh. Then, with very little resistance, Nanami's body slid off the cross. Well. Remy-san. Without getting up from the floor, Nanami lifted her head and let her gaze roam about the room. It was as if she was searching for something. Maybe your hand? You know, my bangle? Okay, that too. Your bangle's more important than your hand? How about we find your hand? Your bangle's probably on it. I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. She staggered to her feet, and this time, she searched her surroundings with her left hand. Because that was her only option. Bangle? It's a bangle, right? Got it. I know where it is. If we get out of here, we can go get it, Nana-chan. So let's go to the hospital, okay? My hand! It hurts! Yeah, we call that phantom pain. Sorry. So do we know where the hand is? We wondered if it was a delusion in and of itself because it disappeared from the fridge. But now we got multiple Nanamis running around, one of which is a tad stumpy. So, do you actually know where the hand is? Why do I know you, Rimi-san? Where have we met before? Yeah, exactly. Rimi-san. Is it you, Rimi-san? Did you take my bangle? No. Why? Why would you do something like that? Rimi, who realized that something was wrong with Nanami, instantly looked to Narose. With a scornful grin painted on his face, he simply observed Rimi and Nanami's exchange. What are you showing her? Yeah, exactly. Something's going on in Nanami's head here. It's like she's looking around her bedroom for her bangle or something, and she thinks her hand is there, but it's not, and that's why it hurts. Nanami's gaze was fixed on Rimi. Trembling like a newborn fawn, she slowly stood up. And then, she held out her right wrist, as if offering Rimi her palm. A bandage drenched in blood. It almost appeared as if her hand was still connected. And yet, one after the other, vibrant scarlet drops fell from the bandage, without reprieve. You might want to put a tourniquet on that. By her feet, a pool of blood grew larger and larger with each passing second. She needs medical attention, fast, yeah, no kidding. It's been a week. How does she have blood left? But despite how frantic she was, Rimi was unable to get any closer. For getting closer to Nanami would mean getting closer to that man. It frustrated her greatly, leaving her on the verge of tears. Did you have it? The whole time? Rimi-san, is she about to attack us? Time to go, okay, Nana-chan? This way. Why did you take it from me? Give it back. Give my bangle back. This is something of a mirror to the phone call we got where Nanami-chan was like, give back my right hand. Seems to have forgotten about that. Now just the bangle is important. Calm down, Nana-chan. It's my treasure from my big bro. The trash he threw away. I won't let anyone else have it. Give it back. Give it back. She is going to attack you, isn't she? Give it back! Together with her pained scream. Oh! Okay, we suspected Nanami might get a sword. I hope it's a one-hander. If it's a great sword, she may struggle. A single drop of blood fell from her right wrist. Before it had the opportunity to hit the ground, the drop crystallized at high speed. Originating from nothing, with the drop at its center, a mineral-esque object burst into view. Is this our 7? We've got, let's see, we've got Kazupi and Senna. We've got Rimi and Nanami here. We've got Yua and Ayase, and we've got Takumi. Okay, so yeah, Takumi and 6 girls. Sounds about right. It was as if a carapace formed from minerals had ripped through a rift in space. Yes, we know about it. Ah, there's that sword. We saw that on the... Oh, that is definitely a stump. We saw that on the title screen. That's the one to the far right. In the blink of an eye... In the blink of eye, it took shape. Someone should have blinked their eyes when they were proofreading that. It resembled a cross far more than the object that had previously held Nanami. Or perhaps it was a sword which pierced itself perpendicularly, as if rejecting all. That's a D-sword. Yeah, you might be in trouble. Give it back, please. And Nanami, as if embracing it, held it close to her chest. Tears, born from all of the sadness within her, fell upon it. Her D-sword flickered scarlet, as if one with her pulse. If you don't give it back, Rimi-san, I'll make you pay. No. This whole time, Nana-chan was a gigalomaniac? So if this is our 7, who was the one in Genichi's office? I can't imagine it was Nana-chan. I can't imagine it was Nanami after what we've seen. It doesn't seem like it would be Rimi, since this guy's acting like he hasn't seen her in a bit. Huh. Do we have a traitor in our midst, or is there another gigalomaniac? Because, I mean, Suwa said he was a wizard. So it's entirely possible it's him, but then we would be at 8, not 7. So I wonder if someone's going to die. Never mind. Pointless speculating for nothing. Scene change. Oh, look, Nanami's fine. Let me be selfish. Just this once. You are totally a rucksack thing. No, Takemi's actually got the right idea ignoring her. I'm pretty sure she's just not here. I saw Nanami crying. Or rather, there's a guy with a rucksack here, putting on his best act while acting like, okay, as soon as I get what I want, I'm taking all these waifus and piling them into my bag and running. I saw Nanami crying. She was hanging her head low, and while she was trying her best to hold them in, tears ran down her pained face all the same. I took one look at her, and then I returned my gaze to the ceiling, resuming my mission of counting the rusted spots. Boy, this rucksack guy is probably getting really frustrated. Cry all you want. There's nothing I can do for you. I'm a delusionary existence, after all. A delusion. Don't say that! There's no way you're a delusion, big bro. Because I remember you from back when we were kids. I've always taken care of you. And even though I can't say you're reliable, you've always been with me. Ever since I can remember. Yeah, I really feel like this is a rucksack guy. He's trying to get something out of Takemi. Wait, she was right. It was just that she said. I had memories from when Nanami was little. I had memories from my childhood. I had memories of watching the news reporting on the bus accident my classmates had been in. The one that had happened on the field trip I hadn't been able to go to. I even remember my teacher, Mr. Saito, who had passed away in the accident. Yeah, exactly. So that was during that time frame. I have trouble keeping track of what happened when. Also, Bon was talking about this with the old staff at that school. And everyone remembered the incident, and they even remembered me because I was the kid that wasn't there. So, again, explanations will need to be necessary. The words of Rimi, a total stranger, or the words of Nanami, who I'd grown up with. It went without saying which to believe. The right person to believe wasn't Rimi. The right person to believe was Nanami. I disagree, but we'll see how this plays. If Nanami was real, that meant I was real too. Nanami. Am I going to get that head pat? I extended my hand toward her. Nanami's existence was my one and only hope. First it was the sword that was my one and only hope, then Rimi was my one and only hope, then Nanami's my one and only hope. I'm afraid this is going to be a rucksack guy, and you're going to be let down again. The sole existence that would save me. Save me, Nanami. Save me. Big bro! If Nanami's warmth was real, then I could prove that I was real too. Nanami, who had been crying from loneliness, wiped away her tears, looked at me with her reddened eyes, smiled at me with her tearful smile, and... Will you hug me? I nodded. Then again, then once more. What is this leading to? Rucksack guy's after something. By doing so, if I could save Nanami, by doing so, I could save myself. Someone else is going to come in and save us. Senna is going to come in, or maybe Yua and Ayase are going to burst in. I would gladly hug this bratty little sister of mine, no matter the time or place. I would hug my one and only sister in this world. The one that shared my blood. Nanami, Nanami, save me. I wanted to feel her warmth as soon as I could, and so opening my arms to welcome her into my chest. Uh-oh, this usually does not end badly with these. I prepared to hug her. What's gonna happen? Tightly. Ever so tightly. Big bro! But right at that very moment. Oh. The hell? Okay, did we actually save Nanami then? Oh, maybe there's a rucksack guy outside, and Senna just finished dicing him up. Nanami's body was enveloped in a faint light, and she burst into countless blue particles. One after another, the particles burst like bubbles in the air, so just like Mia. So yes, a delusion. So where is Rucksack Guy, and how badly was he injured and by who? The air in which my arms remained extended. Never received the hug I so desired. My chest never feeling the warmth I so desired. Right before my very eyes, Nanami had vanished. See, that'll teach you not to count the rust spots in your ceiling. Meanwhile, outside the crate, right, with only her left hand, because she had no choice, Nishijo Nanami had tightly embraced the D-sword that had been born of her own blood. Her right arm, meanwhile, only lay upon it. Her blood, seeping from the bandage on her right wrist, slowly ran down the sword's fuller. It hurts. You knew. You knew she was a gigalomaniac. Rimi's question was directed at Narose, who had evidently chosen to remain a spectator. No matter how much Rimi glared his way, he always retained the same composed look on his face. A fortunate coincidence, if you may. After doing all these horrible things to her, you think you could just say that? What do you mean coincidence? Simply that there was no need to go to the same great lengths that I had with you. After all, my company already has a well-established method on how to awaken gigalomaniacs. But, in opposition to this, Nishijo Takemi is the only one to which this method does not apply. I must say, there's nothing more difficult to handle than that irregular monstrosity. Don't you dare call him that! Why, may I ask? Is it perhaps because you are one as well? That's not what this is about. Allow me to rephrase. Perhaps someone born from nothing. Oh, is that what we are as well? Or by we, I mean Rimi? Because she appeared the same time Takemi apparently did. Averting her gaze, Rimi bit her lip in frustration. Her trembling had yet to cease. In direct opposition to her wish to save Nanami, her legs refused to move. It was as if they had taken root inside the floor. Narose, meanwhile, caressed Nanami's head almost lovingly, acting as if he was under no threat whatsoever. Nanami had no reaction to this. She simply hung her head low as she repeatedly drew shallow breaths. A spotlight, illuminating a single spot amid the endless darkness. Around it, countless corpses lying on the floor, with none being able to see them. Not even you yourself. Stop it! Oh, is the floor covered in corpses right now? And if, say, you committed suicide, the spotlight would move a few dozen centimeters, and you would be swallowed by the dark. Then, another someone, unaware of everything, privy to nothing, would in turn be bathed in the spotlight. Ah, he is telling us things, vaguely, but alluding to stuff. Yeah, stop. Prompted by Rimi's sharp tone, Narose shrugged his shoulders, then returned to silence. It hurts. I want you to let Nana-chan go. Whatever do you mean? I have already released her restraints. I'm taking her with me. Feel free. I have no use for her anymore. Okay, Nana-chan, let's go. You can dispel the sword now. Nope, not until she gets her bangle back. Give me back my bangle! I will, so please. Remy knew where Nana's hand was being kept. Okay, good. On that day, on the night Nanami's hand had been delivered to Takami's room, after Takami had collapsed from sheer humiliation on the roof of O-Front, Remy had retrieved the hand from within the refrigerator. Okay, I suspected. Shogun was the one who had it now. It was in cold storage to keep it from decomposing. The bangle, too, was... I got it. From my big bro. It's mine. It's my bangle. Taking it away from me. How could you? Nanami's voice, which had only been speaking in incoherent mumbles, was gradually growing more and more intense. Calm down. Take deep breaths. I need you to pull yourself together. If I may ask, Norose's sudden interruption elicited a click of Remy's tongue, though only in her mind. Which of you two is the more important? Which of you two is the more important being to Nishiju Takami? Probably Nanami. Remy cast her eyes downward. Yeah, probably not Remy after the day they just had. Remy-san, While Nanami instead raised her head, a sparkle returned to her once empty eyes. A glaring, brilliant shine, one that warranted only a single descriptor. Abnormal. In a panic, Remy frantically attempted to brace herself, only to be frozen in place by the sudden darkness. It was as if all the lights had been turned off. Remy had no way of knowing whether it had been intentional or accidental. I can't fail here. Remy whispered so in an attempt to encourage herself. Her voice made the air undulate, but it melded itself into the darkness before long. She then noticed that she could no longer hear Noah 2's growling rumblings. I hate the dark. It always reminds me of back then. Remy tried looking around, but all she could see was darkness, spreading through every corner. No speck of the concept known as light existed. Could she not see because it was dark? Or could it perhaps be because her sight was no longer working properly? She had even lost the ability to tell up from down, so probably just being affected by the Noah 2. She could not tell where she was anymore. Her 5 senses had been eroded by darkness, and now her body was unable to recognize anything. I kind of wondered if the reason that Nanami vanished from the crate might have been because something productive happened over here, but I think the two were just completely independent. I'm pretty sure there's a rucksack guy that just got messed up. As if her body had been turned into a gas. As if her consciousness had slipped away from its vessel. Past and present fused as one, and Remy's memories began to intermix. When was now? When was the past? Confusion again, just like with Yua. Bad times? Then, in the world ruled only by sheer darkness, a single ray of light shone down. And there, within that circular spotlight, was Remy, cradling her knees close to her chest. Remy was seeing this very scene from within the darkness. It's the same as back then. Back then. Remy had nothing. Before she knew it, she had been confined and tortured. But rather than anything physical, the psychological pain she suffered had been far greater. A daily life born from the depths of hell. A daily life consisting solely of enduring. How she had been before that, Remy did not know. When and how had she been confined? For how long had she been tortured? That, Remy did not know. But something told her that this was not due to memory loss. The moment she suddenly opened her eyes, a consciousness known as herself had been born, or so she felt. Perhaps the one inhabiting this body before her, unable to escape from all the pain, had ended her own life within her delusions. And then perhaps as a new her, a new personality, the current Remy, had been born. Perhaps there had been countless other hers before her. Even the name Sakihara Rimi may have been different each time. To myself, I don't exist. Something moved amid the darkness. Rimi stood up, then slowly began to move toward it. And as she moved, so did the spotlight. And what she found was a dead Rimi, lying on the ground. Without ever looking at Rimi, a whisper flowed from Rimi's mouth. What number are you? Well. Oh, hello. And while you were in that delusion, how many limbs did you lose? Boy, Nana-chan, how you doing? How's that arm? Rimi's eyeballs twitched incessantly. An endless amount of tears ran down from the corners of her eyes. Her D-sword then slipped from her hands, and Rimi sank to the floor. Much like a child would, she covered her face with her hands, and weakly shook her head. I'm sorry. I couldn't do it. Nanami stared at her with a vacant look in her face, while Narose let out a short, disinterested snort. Wow, gee, we just traumatizing all the people. Speaking of being traumatized. Yeah. Remember how I said you were going to be disappointed about Nanami being able to save you? Well, that came quick. Nanami had vanished without a trace. She had turned into bubbles before my very eyes. Her substance had simply ceased to exist. I still feel like someone's outside, messing up a rucksacker. Nana... Nanami, where are you? Come on. Come out. That was a really good trick with the bubbles. I know you're here. Is this another prank? You're hiding. Stop hiding from me. Stop hiding from me. That last thread of sanity, it's good and done gone snapped, I bet. My vision grew blurry from my tears. No matter how many times I wiped them away, the lukewarm droplets kept pouring out. But both this warmth and the feelings making me shed these tears were delusions. I myself was one, after all. Nanami had been a delusion. I've been stupid to believe that it would all be okay. My hopes have been crushed, just like that. Hey, when will I wake up from this delusion? Please, can it hurry up and happen already? Where's the knock, knock, knock? Not even I knew who I was talking to, but right now I was fine with anyone. I just wanted to be heard. Go talk to Grim. I'm sure once I wake up, I'll actually be an alpha for sure. Yeah, that's how that works. With an understanding little sister and a gentle big sister and a harem of 6 other sword-wielding girls. I'll be going out with a cute girlfriend. She won't be some insane schizo like Rimi or Senna or literally every other woman I know. She'll be a good girl like Saratan. Foo-hee-hee. You are a delusionary existence. Rimi has literally talked on the phone with the actual you. Groveling on the floor, I buried my head in the mountain of trash and tightly gripped Saratan. I tried my best to avert my eyes from reality as I pounded the floor with my fists, but I couldn't. Rimi's words pummeled my mind relentlessly. I want to die. I want to die. Why won't anyone kill me? People, Shogun in particular has alluded that he needs Takumi to do something. And I wonder if the Nozomi group needs something like that too, or if Shogun is part of the Nozomi group via Suwa, or even just directly, which is why they're not killing him. Who the hell knows? Hey, Seira-tan, can you kill me? God, I would if I could. Kill me. Do you really want to kick the bucket that badly? I want to die. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. My own existence anymore. I don't want to think of anything. I don't want to keep on living. Ah, poor little Taki. In that case, I'll show you a real quick way to do it. Someone is going to eventually remind this guy he lives on the top of like a 6-story building. Ah, this is why you're my waifu. Seira-tan always devoted herself to me. Commendably so. For starters, get your patootie outside. Outside? There's going to be someone with a rucksack out here, busted up. Doing as I was told, I stood up and headed for the door. And then, after nearly tripping and falling over trash countless times, I exited my base. I had no need to question her. Seira-tan would never betray me. She was my waifu, after all, and she wasn't 3D. Once I was outside, a strange sound hit my ears. This sound. Hadn't I heard it somewhere before? What sound? It is a little bit distant. I don't think it's the siren-y sound from Shogun's messages. Is it like what's left of the rucksack? But even if it was, where would this guy have heard it before? Okay, now you just gotta follow the sound. Wait, what? If I do, will someone kill me? Yup-a-Rudy! Huh. Seira-tan seems to be possessed of some interesting knowledge right now. I wonder, will they be gentle? You've got my word, Snookums. Thank goodness. I can finally die. This sound was my messiah. The 4th or 5th one I've come up with. The bell of salvation that would grant me passage to the promised land. With Seira-tan in hand, I set off toward the sound. Is this backup rucksack guy at work? Whenever I got close to the sound, it would move farther away, almost like it was guiding me somewhere. Yeah, where are we going? Are we going to O-Front again? We're going to jump again, or we're going to get our sword finally? Every time I seemed to be onto it, it would quickly become distant. Every time I seemed to lose track of it, it would come close and wait for me. As though it had a will of its own. A sound with a will of its own. The greater will. It reminded me of Shogun's existence. His face flashed through my mind, but I quickly grew indifferent to it. Whether it was him or someone else, as long as someone killed me, I didn't mind. I even stopped wondering about the true nature of the sound. I was a delusionary existence, and I was going to die pretty soon, so there was no point in caring. With my head completely empty of all thoughts, like a moth to flame, I staggered after the sound. A barrage of noise now surrounded me. I was unable to differentiate any of them. With a click of my tongue, I tried to find the origin of the clamor. That is a loud noise, only to gulp instead. We are back at... Oh, and their cameras are out. Suddenly, without me having realized that I was standing in Scramble Crossing... Is this the festival? Wasn't Grim telling us about a festival? We found our way here regardless, didn't we? Man, we are just getting fucked around with by everybody. It was then that I realized that the clamor was coming from the sheer number of people crammed into the crossing. It was almost jam-packed. Everyone was pushing right up against each other like a morning train ride during rush hour. Compared to when I'd been broadcasted from the top of O-Front, there was an even bigger number of people here. Now that I've thought about it, Grim had mentioned something about this. Yeah, exactly. Something about there being a festival at Scramble Crossing tonight? What the hell is this, Seira? I have nothing but horrible memories of this place. Why did you bring me here? Everyone's got their phones out. Oh god, he brought the figure again. Hi, Seira. Why am I here? For revenge! What? Where's the person who's gonna kill me, Seira? Right in front of you! Right in front of me? This tremendous crowd on this cold autumn night. Just what kind of festival could make so many people gather here to the point of there being no room to breathe? That was a very fast delusion opportunity. Suddenly the wall of people opened up before me, like I was Moses from the Bible. A single path inviting me in. They were all waiting for one person. Me. It's the reality TV show that's sweeping the nation. Today's episode, the world's most terrifying offline meet. People from all over the net have come to lynch the biggest embarrassment in all of Japan. Nishijo Takumi, right in the middle of Shibuya. Their catchphrase, whose eyes are those eyes? Well, somebody's been screwing with the media again. Yes, we're going to have a public lynching. That sounds like something the network would approve of. When that long scenario played out in my mind, oh wait, this is just our delusion. I laughed. Yes, that must be it. Foo-hee. As much as I hated pain, as long as I would die, I'd be more than willing to deal with that much. What a perfect festival for me to die at. Yeah, that laugh. I had finally grasped what Seira had meant by revenge. I hadn't died the last time I was here, so they had prepared this stage just for me. Forming a lazy smile stemming from the corner of my mouth, I started making my way through the path between the people. So are we going to head back up to the roof and back up to where our D-sword is? At the end of it, I could see various members of the mass media standing next to each other like idiots, cameras and microphones in hand. Both the onlookers and the mass media were incredibly tense. There was a tiny bit of commotion, but nowhere near the amount you'd normally have at a festival. All the energy they'd had back when I was humiliating myself atop O-Front was gone. Everyone looked at me. Their eyes were cold and sharp, staring daggers at me with what felt close to murderous intent. Whether I liked it or not, my expectations were swelling higher and higher. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. When I looked up, I realized that all 4 of the enormous jumbotrons were showing footage of me walking through the crowd. I was sure that just like last time, this was a national broadcast too. If the viewer rate was even 40%, I would die while being watched by approximately 48 million people. The death of me, who was no more than a delusionary existence. The death of me, who had no value whatsoever. The death of me, who was wholly and entirely worthless. I know these episodes are dark, guys, but just remember, you are not worthless. You do have value. I tell that every time we do the weekly Wednesday hypnosis sessions on my Twitch channel. If you're not aware of them, we do group anti-anxiety sessions. We do group anti-anxiety sessions every Wednesday. And yes, you are important. You do have value. You do have worth. Don't let this be a downer to you, okay? All right? Give your cheeks a slap. Not those cheeks. Is that what you wanted to see? Well then, congratulations. Here you go. It doesn't matter either way to me. As long as I die, I don't care how many people see it. And so, I stood before the battery of cameras and microphones. You going up to the roof? A swarm of flashes burst in unison. Blinding lights flashed intermittently. You guys are all going to see Esper Boy get his sword, and all of a sudden I'm going to be a national hero. Straining my eyes, I fought to endure them. Then a reporter that was probably in his 40s spoke up. I had seen him on a number of talk shows before. Nishijo-kun, what kind of performance are you planning to show us today? Head for a swan dive? Well, I've got you here. There's been some talk about the crucifixion suspect that was arrested this morning. The people are saying that they were just a pawn and the mastermind's still out there. You got any thoughts on this, my friend? I would agree with that. But I'm not the one being interviewed. Why was this random guy acting all buddy-buddy with me? And what was that last part supposed to mean? Was he asking for my opinion? Huh. I guess when the media called up the criminal psychology professors every time, and they always said the same thing, standard, uninteresting bullshit, even an amateur like me could serve as a replacement. Regardless, I couldn't have any less of an opinion on what this guy was asking about. I had lost all interest in New Gen. I'd come here to be killed, not to answer questions. I had no energy for it. The way Ayase was talking, it seems like all the New Gen killings are done, like whatever was necessary to have happened has happened. So there probably won't be any more, but it also begs the question, why did they happen? Well, anyway, Nishijo-kun, I'll just get straight to the point. The true culprit is commonly referred to as, whose eyes are those eyes? Yeah, we hate that phrase.
それは君なんじゃないかっていう
And there's been some rumors about it potentially being you.
そうかもね。
It very well might be. My whispers were broadcast all throughout Shibuya via the Jumbotron speakers. Commotion ensued. The bloodthirsty atmosphere got even stronger among the people gathered here. I don't care. Just kill me already. Set me free. Stop asking me for things. And yet, despite my wishes, the microphones came even closer. They were pushed so violently toward me, the next step would be shoving one straight in my mouth. The other reporters, too, were raining questions down on me incessantly. Are we to take this as you admitting to having a part in the case? No, we just admitted our apathy. Have you ever been unable to distinguish video games from reality? Hey, I take an issue with that. What is your relationship with the suspect that was just arrested, Komaeda? Please give us a statement. Komaeda's an asshole and he eats too many bagels. Do you view killing people like it's some kind of video game? In a sense, I was like a video game character. Yes, in a sense. He's something like a video game character. Someone please reset me. Just get me a game over once and for all. Buddy, I would love to get to the end of this chapter and start afresh, okay? Just let me get there. Just kill me already. I've got like 5 more minutes left in the episode. As soon as those words left my mouth, the crowd, at the peak of its tension, exploded. Can we just get to the roof? Kill yourself! Inhuman garbage! Goddamn savage! I'll kill you myself! Burn in hell! Get the death penalty! I'll fucking kill you! Murderer! I was overwhelmed by the waves of people, and as the screams and shouts swarmed, I was swallowed up by the undulating masses. Are we reaching an end? Are we actually going to get there? Am I going to get my wish? I was tossed around and jostled, crushed to nothing and pulverized. Oh, damn. Being shoved by people in all directions, my body started floating. My souls left the ground. Yeah, even if we die, it's not necessarily game over, because Takumi is still somewhere else. No matter how much I struggled, I couldn't do anything. I was struck on the head, punched in the arms, but none of it was painful enough to kill me, and with no room to breathe, I started to suffocate. But I didn't resist. I entrusted my body to the chaos, and in doing so, the pressure suddenly disappeared, and my body fell to the floor. Seratan fell from my hand and toppled onto the asphalt. Countless feet lined up like trees in a forest, and as they writhed about my waifu, rolled through the gaps between them. Despite extending my hand, I couldn't reach her. She somehow guided us here, and now she's piecing out, which is pretty impressive for an inanimate object. Her face, complete with that endlessly radiant smile of hers, the smile that soothed my soul, was stepped on by someone's shoe. Okay, never mind. Ah, Taki! It hurts! Help me, Taki! Not too late. Her small body was kicked further away, and some lady in red high heels ended up crushing her torso. Lady, do you have any idea how much that was worth? Seira. No matter how much I called out to her, no answer came. My one and only ally was gone. It felt like my chest was being crushed by sorrow. I had lost all reason to stay in this world. To live. And when I looked up, surrounded by people as I was, even the night sky was hidden away from me. No one noticed I was there, slumped down on the ground. Even though I was right here. Even though I was asking for someone to kill me. Why was everyone ignoring me? Was Kazubi back? Was Kazubi clearing a path? Suddenly. So we're not done? I felt it. Right on the nape of my neck. The gaze is back. That tingling sensation. God's gaze. Why now? You. And within my mind. So is God's gaze us? I can't remember if I speculated on that or not. That God's gaze is just the real Takumi. And within my mind. Can't die here. A certain voice rang. Was it my own? I gulped. Obtain your D-sword. And firmly gritted my back teeth. Shogun? Was that Shogun? I searched for that wheelchair among the crowd, for that bastard cosplaying as Darth Spider. Again, was that Shogun or was that Sua? So you were the one behind this festival, huh? I knew it. I mean, somebody was behind it, same as last time. Are you planning to wheel out here and threaten me, all while you're in your offensive Darth Spider cosplay? It is offensive. What kind of crossover is that? Jeez. You trying to recreate what happened last time? I wished for death. The entire time I'd been alive, I'd just been some tool for everyone's amusement, and I couldn't take it anymore. The Shogun from back then wasn't me. Aha! So it was Sua. I don't tend to cosplay. I don't care. Just kill me, please. They're starting to take action. This place will soon turn even more chaotic than it already is. They? The masterminds behind everything. The ones causing this chaos. And the people using it for their own interests. No one but you can stop them. I stood up. The angry voices kept surging above my head. No one was looking at me. The onlookers and the people from the media were all jumbled together, grabbing each other, cursing at each other, punching each other. Why were they... The silent weapon. Yeah, no kidding. Noah 2 is already in operation. The one and only motive behind this chaos is indiscriminate human experimentation. Something hard hit my head. A sharp pain rang through me, a pain so intense I thought my skull had been broken. My hands automatically shot up to my head, cradling it. As I looked around with tears in my eyes, I found a rock on the ground, the size of a fist. A tiny smear of blood colored part of it. Someone had thrown that rock, and it had hit me. A throbbing pain coursed through me. Moving my hand toward the source, my fingers touched something sticky. Bringing my hand down in front of my face, I saw blood on my fingertips, my own blood. Yep. The rock will do that. Also, what the hell kind of scream is that? Maybe Cosby is here. I heard a dry explosion in the distance, followed by a lady screaming. A gunshot? There were people with guns here? Why was everyone so worked up? Why was everyone fighting each other despite being total strangers? Is this a Friday or a weekend? Is there a new Garrow Froggy out? Why was this so chaotic? The villain's sacrifice everyone was waiting for wasn't mine? Shibuya's GE rate, biorhythms, are rising to unprecedented levels. Like I told you before, indiscriminate human experimentation. Everyone here is under an invisible attack. And suddenly it's empty and Squeaky Boy's back. Then I heard a sound, a creaking, rusty sound. A sound akin to a dying woman gasping for air. The sound of a wheelchair. Despite how many people there were, despite the wall of people surging erratically, Shogun moved his wheelchair forward. And without bumping into anyone, without getting dragged into a single fight, he made his way straight to me. Well, there he is. So this is probably what we actually look like. Ever so small, with a body of skin and bone, he was covered in wrinkles and looked so frail, it was as if he might break at the slightest touch. His eyes were cloudy as could be. I didn't know what he was looking at, nor what he saw through those eyes. I couldn't bring myself to look away anymore, and suddenly the tumult surrounding me began to grow distant. I've been watching you, always. It was the same voice as the time we had first met. It wasn't that strange voice I had heard at Ofront. Who are you? I'm you. And with those few words, I finally understood. The one who envisioned me in a delusion. The one who created me. The one behind God's gaze. Was you. Yes. He was my creator. The existence who had envisioned me within a delusion. Someone who I could never hope to match up to. What's your name? Nishijo Takumi. The real me. The original me.
君は
How
いくつなの？
old are you?
君と同い年だよ。
The same as you.
君の
As far as your
設定とね。
backstory goes, that is. 17 years old, even though he was so small. Even though he was covered in wrinkles. He was only 17 years old.
このままだと世界が
If
死んじゃ
things
う。
stay this way, the world will
ノ
die.
ア2にあらゆる人の心
Everyone's
は支
mind
配
will
さ
be
れち
put
ゃう。
under the control of Noah
だから
2.
君に託
That's
した。
why I entrusted it to you. Entrusted? Entrusted what
意
exactly?
味がわかんないよ。
I don't
そ
understand.
んなの
I have
僕には
nothing to do
関
with
係ない。
any of
頼
this.
むよ。僕
I
を
beg
消
you.
して。
Erase me.
今す
I
ぐ
want
に
you to
消してほし
erase
い
me. Hurry. Shogun's wrinkles stirred. He was likely making an expression, but I couldn't see it as anything other than wrinkles shifting on his
全
face.
部僕のせいなんだ。
This is all my fault.
僕が IR2 を妄想しちゃ
All
ったせ
because
い。
I happened to delude LR2.
なんとか止めようとしたけど、
I tried my
僕は
best
こ
to
んな
stop
体
it,
だから、
but with my
満
body
足
like
に動くこ
this,
ともできな
I
い。
couldn't do what I wanted
それ
to.
で君を生み出した。
That was when I created you,
君に止めてもらうために。
to have you stop it.
そんなの知らない。
I know nothing about any of that.
僕は君の
Just
コピ
because I'm
ーだ
your
けど、
copy doesn't mean I want to
僕は
do
や
the
りたく
same
ない
things you
コ
do.
ピーだけが苦しまなくちゃいけな
If
い
the
なんて。
copy is the only one who has to
そんなの嫌だ。
suffer, I don't want to be a copy. Well, I'm pretty sure Shogun suffered. Just let me
君は
die.
コピーじゃない。
You're
も
not
う
a
一人の
copy.
僕だ。
You're another me.
つまりコピーじゃないか。
In other words, a
君
copy.
のしてることはすごく
Do you realize how
残酷だ。
horrible what you're doing is?
悪かったって思って
I
る。
know. And I could never apologize enough.
他に方法はなか
But
った。
there was no other way.
今世界の命運は
It is
君
no
にかかってい
overstatement
る
to
と言っても
say
過言じゃないんだ。
that the fate of the world rests on your
だ
shoulders.
から
That's
そ
why.
んなの、そん
Why?
なのリミに頼めばいいじゃない
Why
か。
can't you just ask Remy to do it?
知り合いなんでしょ。
You're acquaintances after all. Acquaintances? How do you know that exactly? I'd said that on purpose. I didn't want to think they were lovers or good friends. And so only then did I realize my feelings. I was jealous of the original me. That was rich, coming from a delusionary existence. What a fucking disgrace. I couldn't believe myself. There was not knowing your place, and then there was this. My own feelings made me want to throw up. My emotions continued to spiral. I wanted to
リミ
die.
はナナミを助けに
Remy
行って
left to save Nanami,
逆に捕まっちゃったんだ。
but was imprisoned instead.
え、
リミ
Huh?
はね、僕を
Remy,
救おうとし
well,
てくれていた。
She tried to save
その
me.
理由は
The reason
君
being
も知っているよね。
one you should already know. It's 'cause she cares.
空、
Is that the sky?
空は
That
ど
sky.
うしてあんなに泣きたくな
Why
る
is
く
it
らい
so blue?
青いのかな。
And it makes me want to cry.
それを望んだから。
Because someone wished for it to be.
私は望んでない。
I didn't wish for it.
僕が望んだんだ。
No, but I
こ
did.
こは君の心象世界であると同
Because
時
this
に
place is your image
僕の心
world.
象世
But
界
at
で
the
も
same
ないから。
time, it is mine as well. Remy turned toward me. She stared at me, her face deeply
あ
puzzled.
なた誰？
Who are you?
ここには私以
There
外はい
shouldn't
ない
be
はずなの
anyone
に。
here other than me.
あなたは別の私。
Are you another me?
違うよ。
だ
No.
ったら誰？
Then
どうやってこ
Who
こ
are
に来た
you?
の？
how did you come
私
here?
の心の中だよ。ずっと
This is the inside of
こ
my
れ
heart.
しかなかった。
Here, there's never been anything but darkness.
私に当たるスポッ
The
トラ
only
イトだ
light
け。
was the spotlight shining down on me.
それなのに
And yet,
あなたが来た途端に
the moment you
暗闇が
arrived,
なくなって
the darkness
空が
vanished
できた。
and the sky appeared.
妄想がシンクロしたんだ。
Our delusions synchronized. Something that was only made possible by your immense power. Oh. Rimi looked up toward the sky once more. It was a crystal clear azure sky.
私本物の
I've
空
never
見たこと
seen
ないんだ。
the real sky.
私っていう人格が生まれた時にはね、
When this current me was born,
もう
the current
暗い部屋に
personality,
閉じ込められてた。
I had already been locked in a dark room.
心の中も
There
外
was
も
nothing but
闇
darkness,
しかなかっ
both
た。
inside and outside my heart.
そこからは絶対に出してもらえな
I've
い
never
の。
been allowed to leave that place.
私今
Just now, I
死のうとし
was
てたんだ。
trying to die,
心を自殺
to
さ
make
せ
my heart kill itself.
とこれまでの私も
I'm sure
そうしてきたと
all the
思うし、
previous me's have done that too.
でもせっかくあなたが空を持って
But
きてくれ
since you
たから
brought the sky to
こ
me,
の光景を記憶に刻んでおいて、
would it be okay if I carved the
好きな
scenery
私が
into my memories?
またこ
That
うして
way,
想像できるように。
the next me can envision it.
死にたいの？
Do you want to die? Yes.
本当の空を見てみたいとは思わ
Don't
ない
you
の？
wish to see the real sky?
ね
Say,
え、空って本当にあるのか
is
な。
there really a sky out there?
あるよ。
There is.
でも現実の空はこの
But the
空
real
よりも
sky
汚れ
is
てる。
far more polluted than this one.
どこにある？
Where is it?
この空はどこ
That
にあるの？
sky. Where is it?
君が望めばどこにでも。
Wherever you wish for it to be.
望んでいいの？
Is it okay for me to wish for it? So this is the tail end of this dream. We saw the tail end of this dream several chapters ago. Because I remember this part of the
も
conversation.
ちろんだよ。
Of course it is.
どうやって望むの？
How do I wish for it?
光は電磁場の波。
Light is composed of
その振動現象。
electromagnetic waves.
人の視覚は
The
色として
oscillations of
捉え
these
る。
waves are what people perceive as color.
自分のデッドスポットに望む色を当てはめてごらん。
If you apply the color you desire to your own dead
君
spots,
の望む世界の色を
you can create the color of the world you desire.
世界は君の望みに応えてく
The
れる。
world will meet your wishes. Several days, even months perhaps, had then passed since that encounter, and one day, Remy had come to my hospital room. And you know what? We're going to find out what happened when Remy comes to his hospital room. This is technically breaking up the scene, the flashback, but it's as good a break point as any because I have a feeling this is going to keep going. For all we know, this isn't going to end until we go up the building and get our sword. And frankly, I have a stream to get ready for. So, I don't want to leave this too long and risk being late for that. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down for now. We are over our hour time anyway. But yeah, we're moving. We're getting answers now. We have continued to get things confirmed. It turns out we were indeed the God's Gaze, and it was the us that was originally us, whether that be Shogun or the body still in the hospital room or whatever the hell. And we're going to continue to get this fleshed out until we get an ending, and then we're going to go back and we're going to keep fleshing it out with the other endings. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great week. Stay positive. Again, if you need to, come by the Twitch stream, come by my Twitch channel every Wednesday, at least every Wednesday when I can. Sometimes I have to work late in IRL hypnosis stuff, but most Wednesdays, watch the Twitch channel, watch the Twitch schedule, and you'll see when that is. So if you ever want to come by and benefit from a free group anti-anxiety hypnosis session, you know where to go. So take care. I will see you there. I will see you around. Have a great week. I know you will, regardless of what you choose. Bye-bye.